Okay, yeah. I got my lavender headphones. And they match my lavender fur coat. Hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kennedy, and today we are going to be talking about even more outrageous Monster High ships, Pride Month edition. Yeah. Happy Pride Month. Oh my goodness. Happy freaking Pride Month. Monster High as a franchise and a doll line and the queer community kind of go hand in hand. They're kind of like peanut butter and jelly. I've never ever met a diehard Monster High fan who was also straight. You know what I mean? And also in the Lacey Harrison books, Frankenstein is a diehard Lady Gaga fan. I mean, yes, it's because like her fans are called little monsters, but it's still like it's giving queer. Today's outfit is inspired by the lesbian queen herself, Claudine frickin' Wolf. I'd cosplayed her for a convention about a month ago, and I actually found another Claudine at the convention. I didn't see anybody else dressed in Monster High except for us two, so we had to take a picture. And if you know who this is, or if you're watching this, please tag yourself. I totally forgot to get your ad. Without further ado, let's just get into these outrageous Monster High ships. Pride Month edition. Oh my goodness, I'm so freaking excited. But first, we have to go over a couple of ground rules, of course, like we do in every single video. Rule number 1, a character can only be mentioned in a ship up to 3 times. Rule number 2, all ships in this digest are going to be queer, and I am polycule and throuple friendly. Rule number 3, my opinions are based in first generation lore. Rule number 4, and this is a new rule, I should point that out. I will not be discussing ships that are possible incest. A lot of these ships are from comments on previous videos, but upon further investigation, some of these ghouls are related. For example, I will not be discussing Jackie Laura and Elissabat. No. Viperine and Deuce. No. They are cousins. Now, Luna Matthews and Bonita Femur, that is kind of a slippery slope, and here's why. Luna is the daughter of the Mothman. Okay, that is confirmed. But in Bonita's diary, it states that she is the daughter of the Mothman too. But according to the fandom wiki, her dad is just a moth, just a random moth. So there's some like mixed information out there. But I'm okay with calling them half-sisters and leaving it at that. Now that we've got the rules out of the way, let's jump right into these ships. First we have Lagoona Blue and Toralei Stripe. Ever since I started watching Monster High in my teen years, I have been trying to find another mate for Lagoona aside from Gillington. I always thought he was annoying, and I just really didn't like their relationship together. And I think she deserves better. I'll be honest, Toralei isn't much better, but it's a start. Let's discuss. Lagoona is a sporty Australian sea monster, and Toralei is a typical mean ghoul werecat. This ship idea was brought to me by a comment that said that I should look at Lagoona and Toralei's dynamic in the movie The Great Scarier Reef. So I rewatched the movie, even though it's like, I think my least favorite special / movie from Monster High. And I can see where this commenter is coming from 100%. They start the movie off in this really petty beef with each other. So Toralei, she non-consensually records a video of Lagoona dancing and posts it online, and Lagoona becomes a monster meme. And so, in retaliation, Lagoona uninvited Toralei from her own party. We love a petty queen.
I wasn't even invited.
Lagoona wouldn't do that.
Oh, yeah, I invited Toralei, all right? Then I uninvited her.
They were fighting and bickering and whatnot, and then they got sucked into the ocean via the Monster High pool, and then the rest of the adventure, ensues from there. Throughout the movie, they go from fighting and bickering,
Kitty litter, fish eyes, bang face, sushi roll,
to Toralei literally defending Lagoona against her childhood bully. Like, if that's not a full circle moment, I don't know what is. Toralei's like, if anyone's gonna bully Lagoona, it's gonna be me. It's not gonna be you. And I'm like, you know what? I see it. And you see them grow a mutual respect and understanding for each other through the movie, and I think it's pretty cool. So I can't talk about this ship without mentioning the cat, the not cat dog, the catfish dynamic. Like, that's such, like, it's not like a niche dynamic, but it's something that gets brought up every now and then. So ship it. Next we have Twyla Boogeman, Spectra vondergeist, and Invisibilly. Aesthetically, these characters look really, really good together. I love how Spectra and Invisibilly's color schemes perfectly blend into Twyla's color scheme. Twyla is a shy, introverted boogie monster. Spectra is a really nosy ghost who's a journalist. And Invisibilly is an invisible boy who is actually a theater kid. Invisibilly is canonically in a relationship with Scare Screams, and Spectra is assumed to be in a long-distance relationship with Portergeist because he attends Haunted High and Spectra attends Monster High. I find it interesting that people found a way to ship Twyla with these two monsters, but let's talk about it. In theory, a ghost, a boogie monster, and an invisible man sound like a great throuple. I honestly don't see how they would interact. If Spectra is always looking for the latest scoop, and Invisibilly is dedicated to the theater, while Twyla is just existing in the shadows and minding her business, where is their common ground? Where are they meeting? Like, what are they doing together? I suppose Twyla and Billy could, help Spectra get, evidence for her blog because they're both really discreet characters, but I feel like Twyla wouldn't approve of Spectra. But I feel like Twyla wouldn't approve of Spectra's desire to stir up gossip. Otherwise, I think Twyla and Invisibilly could be really cool together, could be really cute, because I don't think his energy would overwhelm Twyla the way that I think Spectra's energy would, thus causing me to sink this throuple. Sink it. Portergeist and Invisibilly. Damn! This is a cute couple. When it comes to the Mansters in Monster High, the outfits tend to be pretty boring and they play it safe, especially when it comes to the base outfits. But I feel like Portergeist has a really good base design and it's really colorful and fun. So that's just my note on Porter. As we've discussed, Invisibilly is a very quiet, invisible theater kid, and Porter is a rebellious graffiti artist who's a ghost. They're both already in relationships, but we're gonna forget about that for a second. I honestly don't know much about Invisibilly's personality. The most I remember, I think, is from the Lacey Harrison books. But even then, he was just a really chill guy that just wanted to exist without causing any trouble. And Porter is a Haunted High student who's really rebellious and artistic.
To work out your frustrations, you should try painting.
Isn't that what got you detention chains last time?
I think their opposing personalities could make a really fun dynamic to explore. Invisibilly claims it's easier to be invisible, but maybe that's code for something else. Maybe he's insecure, maybe it's closeted bisexuality, maybe it's Maybelline, we don't know. But I think with how confident and colorful Porter is, he can really help Invisibilly realize that he's worth being seen, and he can afford to take up more space. Ship it! We're moving on. Spectra vondergeist and Kiyomi haunterly. When I first saw this couple, I thought, you can't just assume that every ghost-like character is romantically compatible. While that's true, I liked what I found out about these characters. As we've discussed, Spectra is a ghost who runs the ghostly gossip, and Kiyomi is a very reserved, faceless ghost who attends Haunted High. According to the fandom wiki, these two were friends way back in the day before Spectra transferred to Monster High, and they actually remain best friends. Aesthetically, these two complement each other so well. They look really good together. Kiyomi's curiosity about the world and Spectra's desire to document world events are a perfect setup for a journey across the world and sparks their romance. They both long to learn more about their worlds.
Love what I see at Monster High. So nice to each other. Talk about fantastic stuff.
Since Kiyomi can open portals All she needs is a brave ghost who's willing to do anything for a good story, and give her the courage to explore further. Ship it. Next is Robecca Steam and LED. I remember when we got the LED doll after Booyork came out, and I immediately started to conceptualize these two robots as friends or otherwise. I really wish we could have gotten to see them interact more or at all. Robecca Steam is an English steampunk robot from the 1800s. And LED is a modern futuristic robot who's a DJ. The interesting thing about these technically advanced ghouls is that both of them have some major bugs in their hardware. Robecca tends to reject modern technology when she can, while LED is still technically under construction, causing her to need a lot of updates.
Losing signal, searching again. Changing frequency. Elle?
When I imagine them interacting, I predict they would share a lot of fun facts about each other's makeup. I think they'd find a way to give Elle some stability by using some old school technology and also upgrade Robecca with some new technology. Unfortunately, I don't really see this going anywhere romantically, but I think they'd be really cool robotic friends. Sink it, friend zoned. Robecca Steam and Frankie Stein. I kind of want to add LED in this mix, but that's just me being extra. Robecca is a 19th century steampunk robot, and Frankie Stein is a Frankenmonster. What they both have in common is that they were both built in a lab and brought to life. Robecca was living her best life in the 1800s until she was severely damaged in a scream accident. 200 years later, her parts were found by Ghoulia Yelps, and she was brought back to life by Frankie Stein.
I remember when Frankie helped bring me back.
See, if I were Robecca, I would wake up and be like, oh my god, what are we? Like, that's such a cute way to meet your partner, to be honest. Both Robecca and Frankie are really smart individuals who are lacking a deeper understanding of the modern world. I think it would be fun to see Robecca learn about new technology through Frankie, and Frankie learn about traditional English values through Robecca. Even though Frankie is notorious for breaking tradition, I think it'd be fun for her to learn it anyway. Ship it. Operetta and Catty Noir. I'm working late, 'cause I'm a singer. Operetta is a phantom monster with a killer voice, and Catty Noir is a werecat, and she's a major pop star in the Monster High universe. The most I've seen them interact was in Booyork, and that's on barely because there's too many characters for any of them to properly interact. Operetta is very bold, she's competitive, and pretty aggressive in comparison to the other ghouls. She's also dating Johnny Spirit, that is canon, and I know nothing about him, so. Catty is a global pop star. She's really sweet and she cares a lot about music. She's also alluded to be dating Pharaoh. Even though they're both singers, I think they have very differing values, but I think these contrasting traits could be entertaining. Catty can be seen as very passive, but I feel like Operetta would help her assert herself more. Perhaps Catty starts flopping on the charts, and Operetta suggests that she gets a little bit more competitive and markets herself differently. I think Operetta can get Catty into some trouble. Like, some of the things that Operetta says and does could really get her canceled, and I feel like if Catty were hanging around her, she would get canceled by proxies. But, I mean, it could be good character development, I guess. Realistically, I see them, like, dating for a while and then, like, breaking up on, like, decent terms. So, short term, ship it. Up next is Cupid and Elissabat. This is very, very interesting. Cupid is an all-knowing being on love and romance, and Elissabat is a vampire who is an actress. Don't ask me how vampires can be seen on camera. That is beyond my jurisdiction. Aesthetically, these two are really beautiful together. Their colors are so cute, and it's probably one of my favorite color combinations. Like, look at My Melody and Kuromi and the way that they're packaged and marketed together. That could be Cupid and Elissabat. Easily. Personality-wise, they're both kind of blank, but they're both in the entertainment sphere. CA Cupid has a radio show and Elissabat is a famous actress. I feel like vampires are portrayed very romantically, but we don't get to see that side of Elissabat because there are way more pressing issues in Fright's camera action than romance. Same with Cupid, we don't really get to see that romantic side of her because she quickly transfers to Ever After High. So I have to let my fanfiction brain do the work here. Let's say Elissabat is a special celebrity guest on CA Cupid's show. Cupid notices that her views on romance are very cinematic and not realistic. They start giving advice to callers, but someone asks Elissabat for a personal story. But she shares the plot of her newest movie, making the caller name drop the movie and accuse her of trying to sell tickets. Cupid goes on an ad break, and then off the record, Elissabat opens up about never going on a date, never having a kiss that wasn't for a movie, and never falling in love. Cupid has this uncontrollable spark in her heart. Her eyes glow, and she's on a mission to give Elissabat her first real relationship. Plot twist though, Cupid doesn't know that this spark is equivalent to the magic in her arrows, so they do develop a genuine relationship. Am I gonna have to get back into writing Monster High fanfiction? Because that... Anyways, ship it. Moving on. Last but not least, we have viperine gorgon, Elissabat, and catty noir. I am gagged by this trio. I saw some concept art for it, and now I just can't get it out of my head. So, viperine gorgon is Elissabat's makeup artist. She's a little quirky and clumsy. Elissabat, as we've discussed, is a vampire and a famous actress. And Catty Noir is a famous werecat pop star. This is our first star-studded throuple, and I absolutely love it. They're also a very aesthetically pleasing unit, probably my favorite visual throuple. I can imagine Viperine becoming Catty's makeup artist in addition to Elissabat, and the three becoming a really iconic trio together. Like imagine Elissabat starring in one of Catty's music videos, and Viperine doing the styling for it. Isn't that iconic? Romantically, Viperine and Elissabat probably have the most chemistry, because I can imagine them working together for several years. It wasn't addressed in Fright's camera action, but I believe that Viperine knew Elissabat's secret. I think she knew that Veronica Von Vamp was the persona created by Elissabat. Elissabat has to come to Viperine's chair barefaced. And we've seen Viperine put her wig on.
The rightful queen.
Look, I want to help. Really, I do. But I promised Elissabat that I would keep her secret.
So I feel like Viperine knew the whole time and she was just tight-lipped about it. Which is awesome, because that means that Elissabat has a lot of trust in Viperine, because no one in the world knew who Veronica Von Vamp really was. Catty is definitely thrown into this mix, but I don't think it would be hard for them to bond, since the three of them are very, very nice people. Because this is a star-studded throuple, I think following them around. Because this is a star-studded throuple, I know that following them around would be so freaking fun, especially in the age of social media. Catty goes on tours, and Elissabat is shooting on location, and Viperine is there for all of it. I just see it being so fun, so ship it. And that is all. Thank you so much for watching Outrageous Monster High Ships Part 3 Queer Edition. The first installment of this series was actually supposed to come out Pride Month of 2023, but it got pushed to Halloween for whatever reason. So it feels like a full circle moment for the first two ship videos to do so well, and that the third video is for Pride Month of 2024. And I would just want to thank you all again for the engagement, the support, and giving me these ships to talk about. I love to talk about even more, and that would require me to really sit down and watch the web series so I can get some more context as to what these other background characters are. I am in the process of reviewing the Monster High DS games. I just have to complete my collection. I'm only missing one, technically two, but the technical one is 13 Wishes 3D, and I don't care about having that one. I already don't like the DS version of 13 Wishes, so I'm not going to invest or even spend my time doing the 3D one. So I just need to get New Ghoul at School, which I ordered last night. So Monster High DS games will be coming very, very soon. But yeah, what did you think of these ships? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Am I missing someone really, really important? Let me know. I mean, like Monster High has so many characters. So many characters, and there's like endless combinations, that can be talked about. I'd love to unpack all of them. So yeah, happy Pride Month to all of my ghouls, mansters, and monsters out there, whether you're in or out of the broom closet. Thank you so much for watching. This was Kennedy, and I will see you guys on the next one.